a legend of our sport visit us. Possibly it is in the ideal septet of any person, the great Serbian opposite, Ivan Miljković. Welcome.
Hey, hi everyone.
I said it well, Ivan Miljković, because I only hear your name when the commentators in Spanish.
Yes. No, you can
This.
call me. It's important that you think about me. This
Okay,
this
well,
is the most important thing. Yes,
well,
it's a little bit complicated, my last name, but yeah, it's good. You can call me Ivan as well. No problem.
okay. So I'm very interested because you are a great champion, but your great, how can I say, your great title, you got it when you was too young. The gold medal. How old are you?
I was 20, 21.
So how can you blow your mind? How can you not continue to be hungry?
Listen, it happened everything very fast, and I joined the national team at the age of 18, 19, and I was the youngest one between all the other players who played all together like 6, 7 years together.
Yeah.
So for me was a really big challenge, and of course it was a really big responsibility because after 1 or 2 years joining the national team, I already started to play in the starting six. So let's say that the Olympic Games were really a first big competition for me where I really played. And
So
of course, let's say that like when you are outside of the court, you might feel that you're a little bit younger than the others. But when you are inside the court, you have the same level of responsibility. Nobody's looking at your age. Everybody's looking at your skills. Everybody is looking what you can contribute to the team. And of course, everybody is trying to win. So if you as a player are not performing well during the game, of course there is a substitution and somebody else might come on your place. And I was trying to play good, not to be substituted, to be honest.
but there is one thing. How can you be hungry when you won that title that in volleyball is the biggest thing? How can you say I'm 20 years old, but I have to continue in my career?
Listen, there is always something to improve. Of course, even at the end of my career, which was exactly 5 years ago, I wasn't completely satisfied about some of my elements of the play. But of course, you cannot be perfect. What I always try to do is that okay, now the one tournament is over, then it's always going to be, I don't know, the championship with my club. So I started to play for the club, and then at the end of the championship season with the club, then I was always saying, okay, now there's a national team, and now there are European championships, and now after the European championship, there's going to be a world league. Now the VNL, Volleyball Nations League. At that time there was a world league, and there was always something, because like winning the Olympic Games, yes, of course, but there is another type of the passion. There is another type of a challenge when you go to play another tournament. And of course I was still young. I was still searching to find the best shape, and to find the best play. So for me, yes, was just the beginning. Was the really good start. Was a really good start, because it's not it doesn't happen to everyone to win the Olympic Games in 2021 years of age. So for me was nice, but also was a really challenging, as I said.
Okay, but I don't know. In the time you won the Olympic title, and then you are going to Lube.
Well, actually, I already had a contract with the Lube,
Okay.
with Lube Macerata at that moment. Now they are Lube Civitanova. I already had a contract, and let's say there was at that moment there was the biggest buyout in the history of volleyball. And that moment it was like let's say it in today's money around 500,000 euros, which can be even more than 1 million euros today.
Yeah.
And that was a really big, how to say, a really big bet from the side of the club. But of course, as soon as they signed me, I was the one who won the Olympic Games, and I came there with the Olympic title. And of course, in the first starting 2 or 3 years, the teams finally started to win. First, we won the European Cup. I believe it was the CEV Cup, and then we won the Italian Cup. And slowly each season we started to win. So let's say that the betting paid off. to the club. And of
Yeah.
course, I was really happy, just to, because it's not easy to go to Italy and play, and to start to play at the age of 20, 21, to be in the starting six. And the biggest challenge was not also then at that moment, after 1 year, I realized was not only to play, but was also to continue to stay there and to play on a
Yeah.
high level, because with the scout people, with the numbers, with the skills that you have, if they scout you well, then it's going to be a really big challenge for you to keep playing on a high level, and of course to continue to play in Italy.
And you were that working ethic until you were young.
Well, listen, I still have that work ethic, because I believe, beside the talent, beside the situations and the possibilities, you need to be prepared. And in order to be prepared to accept the occasion that's in front of you, you will have to work. And that's a thing that I'm repeating also to my children, and I'm repeating that to myself also today, is that you have to give in order to get. And to
Okay.
give, if you give, you sometimes, or let's say many times, you don't get paid. And I believe people expect to get paid in order to give. And I was always thinking differently. I wanted to be ready to give, and I was giving always. And giving puts you in a condition to be prepared. And once you're prepared, when the occasion comes, and we all get the occasion once in a lifetime, or twice, somebody even twice. So if we are ready, we will accept it, and then we move forward. Otherwise, we will always continue to cry and say yes, but and always try to find excuses.
Okay. But Maxim Mikhailov says you are the player that he looks to be. Maxim Mikhailov. You think that you are, like, how can I say, you change the vision of an opposite in your time. I think that you are the modern opposite, like we think now.
I was somewhere in between. Let's say starting the years 2000, I was starting to become an example, a role model of the modern opposite.
Yeah.
And I believe during the years many things changed, especially right now. Things with the social networks, with the internet, Instagram, and all the other things changed a lot. And from the other side, it wasn't only, as I said before, I was always trying to make my skills perfect. I was always trying to hide the things that I wasn't doing that well, and try to work on them in order to make them better. And from the other side, I always try to be also a role model outside of the court, which of
Okay.
course was, in today's world, is not so easy, with the social networks, with the presence, and etc., and many other things. But at that moment, I believed I was, and I'm still a role model, trying to point out that volleyball is a really nice sport, trying to promote volleyball everywhere I can, and trying to say to many players also that volleyball is is for many of us only a part of our life. So there is another part of the life outside of the court. There is another part at the end of the career, and we all have to be ready for this. And as you know, you cannot find a lot of information about my private life, because I was
No.
always trying to keep my private life, and I was always trying to not to be involved in any scandals, such as doping, such as taking drugs or getting drunk, or like being involved in any things that might compromise my image. Of course, I'm this kind of a person. Somebody else might be a different one, but let's say in my case, it worked very well, and I'm really happy how it went.
So, how can I say? You are, maybe, for me, for my generation, I am 30 years old, so I see a lot of games of Lube Macerata and Serbian team. Do you think that your time, or your generation of Serbian volleyball is the reason because the Serbian volleyball continue be in the top of the world? That make that goal make that you can continue? You are like the the first stone of the building.
Well, if you take a look at Serbia, but not also Serbia, not only Serbia, but also the ex-Yugoslavia, the whole that region, we always had a lot of talented players.
Yes. In all
Uh,
sports, in all sports.
in general, yes, not only in volleyball, but also in handball, basketball, water polo, especially in team sports, but now recently also in some individual sports. And how to say, recently we don't have them a lot because things have changed, children have changed, also the parents have changed. But still, we have them. We just have to how to say to push a little bit more, to try a little bit more, to give them another how to say another interesting things to look at in order to attract them to come and play volleyball. 20 years ago, we might have had 5, 6 different things, or like, let's say sports, music, learning languages, and some other. And today, with an internet, with the games, with the virtual reality and everything, we have like 20 choices for the children. So I also understand parents and children, but also there we I believe that we will have to work a little bit harder to find them. Yes, and until the last 3, 4, 5 years, the Serbian national team, they were as successful as we were, winning the World League and winning European championships as well. But what recently we are going to see how things are going to develop. Unfortunately, in the last two Olympic Games, the Serbian men national team they didn't participate. And from the side of the girls, of course, the volleyball is almost in each country a very popular team sport, especially for the girls when they have to start to practice any sport. So I believe the quantity is not the problem. I believe that we should find the balance between the quantity and the quality needed for the high performance volleyball on national team level.
Okay. We are going to finish. These are the last 3 questions. They're always the same. So we want to know how Ivan Miljković say. First question. As a opposite, what is the more important quality you have to have?
Being flexible and trying to find the best solution outside of the ball. It's not about the problem, it's not the setter, because as I also spoke.
Maybe.
Listen, in my case, if you start to think about as an opposite, if you start to think about the setter, then you're in a big problem.
Well, but you have Nikola Gervich, for example.
Yes, but I played also in the club. I played in different clubs with different opposites, okay. And I didn't play always with the top opposites. I believe the biggest quality of the opposite is to trying to find the best solution for every ball. I also spoke a couple of days ago in Istanbul with Giovanni Guidetti, one of the best female volleyball coaches. That it's not about the ball, it's about how the opposite is going to solve the problem with the ball. So I believe this is the biggest. That's why, for example, in Serbian language, for the opposite, we call him or her corrector, which means somebody who is correcting the balls. Yeah. So I think that's the best explanation.
Yeah, the man who ends the point.
Yes, but also the one who is correcting the ball. And
see,
of course,
that high ball that you have to
you have to find the best solution. That's all. That's why you are one of the most paid players in the team.
Also. And now in your new reality that you're now the coach assistant in Zurich.
Just to correct you, I don't know where you got that information, because many people unfortunately are saying like this.
See?
But I was never, and I have to repeat it not only to you but to the other people as well. I was just during the pandemics, and when we were in a lockdown, I was just asked by a friend to assist her in giving my and sharing my vast knowledge to some of the players there.
But I said a new like a new, writing the new that you have entered in the as a coach assistant in Zurich.
No.
Imagine how
unfortunately it all started from a former good friend of mine, who unfortunately before publishing the interview he didn't even call me. So that's a long story.
And look, are you interested in sometime be a coach? You know?
Look, I might be interested in sharing my experience and knowledge to the high professional level teams in order to make certain players understand the difference between the good player and the champion. But to be a coach, unfortunately, no, because for 22 years I had my weekends busy with the games. I want to dedicate my weekends to the family right now.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's complicated because it's a sacrifice always.
Yeah,
It's always a sacrifice.
especially because 1 year you stay in one place, then maybe the next 2 years you're going to be in some different place. And I as I said, I want to spend my weekends with my family.
Okay, the second question. If Ivan Miljković isn't a volleyball player or wasn't a volleyball player, what is he? O sea,
Well, look, I recently I've at the end of my career I finished my university in economy and finance. I did many different courses in the meantime during the COVID time. I, you can see I'm a little bit specific. I'm not a kind of a normal sport athlete. Then I'm involved in UEFA master course. I'm planning. I have plans to start with a master course in finance and banking. If I were not a volleyball player, I would have done something in finance, or I would have been working on a big project. I believe I would be involved in sports. As of today, I'm quite interested in finance and sports, and especially in volleyball, how we can enhance the commercialization of volleyball on all levels.
okay. The only other Serbian that was in the program that is Euros Kovacevic said the owner of a club. So it's a kind of difference.
Yes, we can discuss also. We can discuss also about that. Like
Yeah.
what's the interest of being an owner of a club?
Well, I think a lot of people said an owner of something. Vital Heinen says an owner of a McDonald's. Thomas Amelvo says an owner of a big enterprise. So it's like you have
I would like to be an owner of my free time.
That's more important. That's more important. And the third question, it's you have to complete the sentence. Ivan Miljković is.
Ivan Miljković is a former Olympic champion who participated in almost all the world and European championships in volleyball. Is a person who likes sports a lot. Is a person who would like to improve volleyball, and in the future is a person who has an aspiration one day to be the president of the FIVB, and is a person who likes to spend all of his free time with his family, because Ivan thinks that family is the most important thing in life.
Many thanks, Mr. Miljković.
You're mostly welcome.